mentioned, my name is Andrew. I was born and raised in this city, as well as in the faith. However, when I was about 16 years old, I decided that I thought I knew better, and the streets, for some weird feeling, seemed more fun to me. So off I went. Needless to say, that didn't get me very far. It landed me dropping out of school entirely. It led me down a long road of hardships and drinking and drugs and everything else. Then as time went on, I slowly started to try to rebuild it. When I was 18, I went to Agora. Came back. Fell real hard again. And throughout my life, I kept struggling and kept struggling and kept struggling. It was up and down. It was a non-stop roller coaster, but God was always there knocking on my door because He loves me so much. He loves all of us a lot. Later on in life, I met somebody extremely special to me. Yes, I'm still with it. We started doing everything backwards, and you'll understand what I mean by that in a second. We are a divine family. We have a total of 5 children. We had our first together, which would have been the third one. We got one more. God is a little funny, and so we ended up with twins. Out with a bunch, out with a big bang. As time went on, we started developing our faith a little bit more, or as I should say, she really started developing her faith a lot more than I. And then eventually she ended up popping me a bit of a question. No, it's not what you think. She didn't ask me to marry her. We're working on that. What she told me was, if you want to stay in this relationship with me, you need to turn your faith around. Because I can't be with somebody that's not going to love God the same way that I do. That was really heavy for me. Because I love her so much. But how come you don't love me the same way I love you? Why is God getting in this? Like, what's going on? So I thought about that for a long time. And after 30 minutes, at that point I knew, no, she's right. She's absolutely right. I need to do something here because all this needs to be turned around. So then as we talked about it a little bit more, decided the actual confession has to happen here because we need to turn that around. And I went to confession, and it's been a long time since I've been. And the priest looked at me and says, I want to give you absolution, but there's one tiny little thing we've got to talk about first. You guys are living together, you're not married. That's a problem. I can't give you absolution because you're living in sin. So the only way I can give you absolution is if you promise right now to God that you're willing to live your lives chaste. Live your lives as brother and sister. Are you ready for that commitment? Oh, I gotta make that decision right now? Can I leave the confessional and come back? Can I talk to her first? I think this is a joint decision. No, I said yes. I said yes, and that was a big statement point for me. And I said yes because in John, he says, very truly I tell you, unless you eat of the flesh of the Son of Man and drink His blood, you have no life in you. Those who eat my flesh and drink my blood have eternal life, and I will raise them up on the last day. Those who eat my flesh and drink my blood abide in me, and I in them. Now that sounds like a pretty good deal to me, right? But you got to stay chaste. Not always easy. I'm now 32 years old. We've been living with chaste for about 2 years. The annulment is on its way. She was married 1 year. On time. And we are progressing towards that. And yes, there are ups, and yes, there are downs. And that's whenever I really like to go in and look into Corinthians, because when we fall, it hurts. And when we're weak, we think we're failing. But in Corinthians, we're always reminded that my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. What that meant to me was, when I'm weak, Christ is beside me that much more. He's got my arm around me, he says, hold on, buddy, another round, you can do it. You got to push harder, go. So where are we now? It's very simple. We go to church regularly, every Sunday, minimum. We go more, awesome. We're now Perseus. We've done our Perseus weekend together. I'm a knight, the Knights of Columbus, and I'm an extremely proud Catholic, and just so happy to be here with all of you today. And it's all because of the love of God and His grace. Because with Him, anything is possible if we put Him first.